everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome if you're new. In today's video we are going to start a new colour along, so I've decided to pick this page from Rita Berman's book My Tour Through Europe, and I thought we would go ahead and make a start with this boat here. So I'm going to go in with a nice purple colour for this because I think it would look nice as purple. So I'll zoom you in and we'll get started. So the first colour I'm going to go in with is lavender, and I'm using the Castle Arts 120 set to do this video today. So what I thought I'd do is go ahead and do a base coat on this bottom part of the boat here that I want to be purple. So I'm just going to use light pressure and go ahead and add this colour in where I want the purple to be. Next, going in with Mauve Deep, I'm going to make a start on adding some shade to this because this is quite a darker purple colour. So I'm going to start by darkening up these edges down here. So I'm going to make these the darkest part. So I'm going to use a bit more pressure right up against the edge, and then I'll lift the pressure as we come out away from the edge. I'm going to add a shadow underneath the decorative part as well, so that that looks like it's standing up off the paper a little bit. So I'll go ahead and darken this up under here. And then we'll take it all the way along the top edge of this boat. And then just lifting the pressure slightly, I'm going to start to blend this out so that we don't have any harsh lines. And we'll add some shade to this side as well. So I'm just going to do the same, go ahead with normal pressure and mark out where we want the darkest parts to be. And then just lift the pressure as this comes out. We'll add a little bit of shadow from these flowers. And then again, just lift the pressure to blend that out. We'll do some shadow around the windows. And then for this top piece, I'm going to shade along this top edge again. So I'm just going to use normal pressure and add this in. We'll do it along the top here. And then down this edge. And then again, I'm just going to lift the pressure to blend this out. And we'll do the same here. Then I'm going to go back in with lavender and I'm going to go over where we added the shade, and I'm just going to start to see how this is looking and how it's blending together nicely or not, if we need to use any other colours. So I'm just using normal pressure here and just taking it over the darker shade that we've added in. Okay, and the shadow's not quite standing out enough for me, so I'm going to go back in with Purple Lake 091, and I'm going to go ahead and darken up where we added the shade colour to see if this will make it look a little bit more darker. So we're going to start down the bottom here. That's definitely a bit darker, so I'm going to go over where we added the shade in with this colour and just go ahead and darken all this up. Then going back in with lavender, I'm going to go ahead and start to blend this out again. So I'm going to go over the dark purple and then just bring the colour out ever so slightly. And then here I'm just lifting the pressure because I want this bit to be the lightest part. Then going in with our white pencil, I'm going to go ahead and go over this bit here and just blend this all together so that it's a little bit lighter. And then this bit up here I want to be a bit lighter as well, so I'm going to go over this bit with the white. And then back in with lavender, I'm just going to add a little bit of extra colour down here where I've missed this little bit. So going back in with Purple Lake 091, I'm going to go ahead and darken up the shadows on these two first. So I'm literally just going to go over where we added the lighter shade and just darken this all up. Then going back in with lavender, I'm going to go ahead and start to blend out this shadow that we've done. And then for this bit here, I'm just going to lift the pressure but add a little bit more colour. Go back in with our white pencil and go ahead and blend the little highlight that we left. So going back in with lavender, I'm going to do the same for this section. So I'll go ahead and darken up by the shadow. And then again, just lift the pressure, but add a little bit more colour where we want the highlight to be. And then going back in with our white pencil, blend the highlight out. Next, taking Purple Lake Deep, which is a darker colour again, we're going to go ahead and make a start on the little details on the boat. So I'm going to start by filling in these little window frames, because these would be a little bit darker because they're normally sunken back. So I'm just going to use normal pressure and just fill that in. And we'll do the same for all three. And then I'm going to fill in the little detail on the boat with this colour as well, just so that this is even darker than the boat itself. Then going in with Ivory Black, I'm going to go ahead and darken up the very edges of this, just so that this is like the darkest part. So I'll just bring it down to about halfway. And you don't want to use too much pressure with this because it could come out a little bit darker than you might expect. And we'll add a little bit to the bottom sections of these windows. Okay, so going back in with Purple Lake Deep, I'm going to go ahead and do the window frames as well. Then going back in with our black pencil, I'm going to add some shade to these. So for these ones, I'm going to darken up this side and a little bit at the bottom. And for these ones, I'm going to darken up this side and a little bit at the bottom as well. Then going in with Mauve Deep, I'm going to make a start on this decorative piece here. So I'm going to go ahead and do a base coat on this. And then taking Heather Purple 037, we're going to add some shade in. So I'm going to shade along the top here where it joins to the boat. And then I'm going to lift the pressure so that this blends out a little bit easier. Then going back in with Mauve Deep, I'm going to go ahead and go over our blend line. Just using normal pressure. And then I'm going to start to bring this round the curl. And then I'm going to leave it about there, so we've got the last little bit that's going to be lighter. So I'll go ahead and do the same for all of these. Then going back in with lavender, I'm going to fill in the last little part of these so it's lighter right at the top. And I'm going to use lavender to fill in this section here right at the top of the boat. So I'm just going to go ahead and use normal pressure and just fill this in. And I'm going to fill this in with the lavender too. Then going in with Purple Lake, I'm going to add a little bit of shade to that top edge. So I'm just going to darken up the edges. So these two pieces here. And this edge. And here under this flower. And here. And then I think we'll add a little bit of shade just on this one side here. And a little bit on the top. Add some down here. A little bit under here and some up here. Next, going in with Cobalt Blue Light 094, I'm going to make a start on the windows. So I'm just going to do a light base coat of this colour onto the windows to give them a little bit of a blue tint to them. Then taking Delft Blue 041, I'm going to go ahead and add in the shade. So for these little ones, I'm just going to go ahead and sort of mimic the shape of the window frame to add some shadow into here. These ones I'm going to shade them down the right hand side and the bottom edge, so just sort of like half of the window, give it a little shadow. This one I'm going to shade by the curtains and then down the central line. This one will add some to the right hand side and the bottom, and we'll do the same for this side. And then here we'll do around the curtains and down the middle. For these ones here, I'm just going to do the right hand side and the bottom edge for each little pane. Then taking azalea pink, I'm going to do the curtains pink because I think they'd look quite nice as little pink curtains. So I'm just using normal pressure and just filling these in completely because they're only tiny. And then going back in with Delft Blue, I'm going to go ahead and fill in these little dots here, because if they are windows, they'd be very small. So I'm going to do them darker. Next, going in with our Posca pen, we're going to add some highlights. So I'm going to do a highlight on these little windows here, just like a little half circle. And I'm going to add a little highlight in the top corner of these windows. And we'll do the same for this one here. We'll do a little bit on both sides. And then I'm just going to add some tiny little dots of highlight just to these little windows. And then because we've left our lightest patch here, I'm going to go ahead and go over this line here so that that's not visible in our little highlighted part. And then I'm just going to add a little dot to each of these windows. Okay guys, so that's how the boat's looking so far. So I think we're going to leave this video here, and then next time when we come back we can make a start on the houses. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.